paise malungil tutaw malsong tekel orang asume pastor ngirablos ara nuem of course amat amete medar sera gotlurior ukmem gada
Waise.
share devotional kida mal ngaltangat albulu gada umral wasi gada umral a Dios.
Yes.
Di kunti al pogo susra ibudul maraklay marubugul belaw President of Senate Lokons Paules marugul senators Speaker Anastasia marugul delegates Chief Justice ngiray galaw marugul justices governors speakers marbek other belaw marlators ngara ulur ngayang almor hotcherigi mga ikala blur belaw elal tuto diri kan malungil tutal leor kumya adra media mat marud ko martia malungil tuta Mr. Sole Miss Raklay madiri kal Mr. Uludong gadang artia lo bangyala Vice President mar members sa cabinet ngari artia Minister Uduy Minister Obiang Minister Victor Minister Erbalaw Minister Maturo Minister Jenkins dire kal bangyada Attorney General ma Director Tax mang matoka mo swadre lal tutaw esokal mo make sure ang nakamungar lang ako nating arteng MC emro sutel urol moral bekladon make sure to na attend musese Maria silent mode di gotruleng mal lungil besa dakal moral bekladon belaw mal marudel ngar belaw at marudel asing ukna umre kay holidays kadam dengan asing mlepto ka kariore dire kal malasora kariore mleo krabulad tigal ngari am gamadar Israel of course Ukraine di adim le sokal sherio ase oe Mr. Irmang adamle dibus oe sera a Christmas New Year yang ako umrera tulo ase one of the most important things spending time with family mal meringa sula Dios o oksel te legal desigal spend that time lugala madala ma turungal grama over the holidays tira di sokal mo sharing siragim gerder belara Tuesday ramu tutaw Wednesday morning adama kamay mloilalid mlora hospital immediately sokal di meringa sula other hospital you know pepila time kada mal di ometa awet mo hospital Mr. Uludong ya de luka amrenga sulira amrenga lurere so elira 5 o'clock akmlol la bila damage en wase mo ko kuran sokal mora morme wa mawadim le del bar de Minister Erbala yak mora doctor lalo asenga perenga gora di escape mong mora bulu eme mlai hira tutaw di maral mrenga sulira other hospital maral you know their care nga amne pneumonia after 1 week he's strong and he's back you know abibira time and dekado la swara sel reglela urera adra hospital uror 24 hours el giret and this all mo tisida saying when you're there for the past week which I have been mo understand la uror ma barrer de la uror yakme sem toka uror lorula ministerial malasmal le improve hospital gider git hospital I just want to meringa sular toktang mar nurse mar other hospital meringa lurera vaccines and most importantly I hope holidays are peklad am na telil spend time with family and that's what should be most important and of course start the new year and CC strong so belal domole paik gotrule uk nila sing na umrega tarra di implement tax reform ingare program segi del implement yak dingin wasel gotel sual al toya Mr. Uludong PGST oise sel tax reform part ringia of course mlegirel broad based ngirel thing tamars and I think one of the things la identifying as PGST for the last year collected 17 million. Adi so kan mo clear selo as 17 million adagal the central country saying besel 17 million. replace ra GRT ma ay import tax el finance am estimating was nga 15 million na collecting. So it's a replacement mang kuradi peak laseng murto de selo aseng nga 17 million maradol bilo kumul kaya nga laudo laseng nga 17 million beso ludo, but that's technically not true. Mga ko adi ngayon din make sure kada clear a fact, but so kung matel by sa minister udoy ma direct elway mal bol sada I get programs again tax reform and what nga katalbang relal next few months. Sure.
Thank you, Mr. President, and good morning, everyone, Vice President, my fellow ministers, the Attorney General, and Director Elway. Director Elway and myself are here to discuss what's the next upcoming event that I think the public should be aware of. And in particular, next month we will be distributing the tax refunds that are called for in the new tax reform. So I wanted to give the public some additional details at this opportunity, and Director Elway and the tax office will continue to inform the public and prepare you for that event that should happen next month in the middle of the month.
So lang Minister malungil tutar mga President ma cabinet marbakla atong artiang mga may other media toward sil morar other rings kung la startal lomo almasad wasi obviously gidra tax la mga tmok koringin mo ulto dagel refund ang yamle partner sil comprehensive tax reform el mo gel mo lutay gel tax bil haraw trigel other belaw lower sura 15,000 el malubel yung kigre 15,000 so dirikal di mo takli katuram la mo dura other blowing dirikal sa dulom kataklo sa sale tax refund sige del 15,000 medio a tax sel harar ngira salary tax sel deductor ngira paycheck or tier sel lower may harar ngi sige del tax about the refund ringil automatically makada ne wasi ngarnya ngaralila local employers will file a withholding statement tagay the W2 or other masay the lultur se auto the refund dito sa gagi del tax el ngay ay gagi dia dolap ospege gid the refund mang waigel blal ng minister kada mes ra February di mok medra ulela February gidia kadura di kambas kadura di ka arrange ra basyo mang so that the finalize gid always hindi gid time sa gid February gida lam katmok kulwasi ti gida basyo mata o medim di mete klemangarnya kador omes lo sel me trigegi del sabirel trigegi del other belal mamlar se refund sel me tamal di me mesa form la prefilled the verify information esa en wa refund la of course ngarnya te al dispute amount ay regular me gambes el part charter regular part tax el wasi ngarnya lemetel adang dispute ngi di lo ura tax magigita del make sure ngarngi digir al chad dir lo esperate alle o maklat kalwasi agel dimna refundra away agel dung aplol way so lo esperate lo asing tax credits el igual el donation el morgel eligible non-profit ma tuition credits at sumukara school ang game ay game malamol mrel ara hindi ko tablo wasi trigel mangusel arang la taxir el trigel other belal mamanar sel tax refund la 15,000 medio mlangu terrogil tax pang ko taw sa hindi katsab el morga additional leng tumlangu terrogil hindi trigel ko tiakal eligible say amalmol man sa el applier say gidel refund imlakto ba form in order to seal time ya though maklat car employer so la say make sure W2 all employees are filed the liner niya January 1st tel ngarala mangarnya bal sila lakdo directly meaning say gidel W2 about the bodul to ngi issue a refund mang diswa dal qadi maklat car employers kita malmol ngaral metob de lo aisa ais malbornya vessel updating in top da vessel update so lang
Sula, Director Elway. Koradi ngu shift mura tukara tourism. You know, one of the things this wala highlight ni misrakla amna yate legal mura Australia. Of course, tiamne private trip and dinga damra Blue Australia. Atara the silubia Blue Australia setara blue gel average tourist the other Australia sel tawdara tourist and one of the highest spenders. So important el magitel gida promote ni magmal mrenga sulela Blue Australia. We started till flight Air Niugini, so it's been running for the past year. Of course, it continuous funding continue in March that they subsidize it there. I'll Skogi and hopefully beyond because we want Air Niugini the most expand the service in Morashaban. Mamlaya tele dangar flight, Siradangara Blura Sydney. I took time the no join tourism promotion. The Australian government arranging material travel writers and material tour agent try to entice more tourism from that. I think last year over 1,000 tourists Australian Mirablu. So it's a growing market. We want to encourage it among MLC. The more of island ding wargida degal se del oitim dio magida rabe keltam umbral dega ading arse di wadang artiang work never stops but go to trela dolmol mal malisiera togora klagang godang bai so kalmo ate alun sa minister at human resource tourism culture and development mo update rigidra gelo highlights era togora tourist ma direla dra la rage Minister Abang, Minister Putul.
Sula Presidente malungit utal mora ada media mar vehicle other belau. Adomes o urela kadana hitra almost halfway. El morsel pre-COVID numbers. Makadam lo endra December with 41,227 tourists temler belau. Ako rangung segid lo ulmati eba yol ngitra director katoy mong mertia mong mata sa igel ko rauril do rule Michael Gukto mes mamururel almaral mo.
Tutay Happy New Year, President, Vice President, mga role cabinet members, mga other media. Sula Minister matul kamla smadegel lo urgit. Maniungil year, like 2023. Ibal li persegid to se mkloluro ra mirael. Sula nga President rigid lo sabel morsegid or event tabel organizing ya Australian Embassy mesel representative office ra PBL nga ra Australia GTI. Manungil event sige nga ita present no mention sa Skogi mo March 2024 ma PBA ma GTI nalmutal executor agreement mo repregi mo March 2024 manungil event malclo momentum so we gotta keep it going with that lamo 3 times lagi mo the 3 farm groups ra Australia May sera November mlaringia ngel yute junker nge independent travel writer emlay no sabel ngarbelat kami 14 days ultimo dia malungil arigal traveler el Palau amne one of top destinations for Australian travelers sige article tilo el al sera December indire kam narinya dive planet terka 5 tour operators from Australia terka officer gida ne host tir so mlamorinya dive trips in Mera March April mat Mera el 2024 because we get the farm groups dire kam narinya sige feature a magazine nga scuba diving magazine dire kam no sabi lukot to dira Blue Australia so mal cloriol maral el Mrula media events Australia sustain tial Skogi gitel un mes over 1,000 tourists na Australia because of Air Niugini Air Nauru dire kam start magi dire kam nani event gim ko ra kit maklilo ban 3 we're doing a lot of media coverage lobong gela Air Nauru Setting them start numbers steadily rising up nga nawarun maran may dire ka sera December lo sa amal mo Hong Kong lo promote Bellar Sail Diving Resorts and Travel Expo se pre-COVID agi ulmay sa ngari im California COVID ng kukwam na stop hindi adomes na start tegel charter flight so obviously gida amlon ilguk mo manage sell expectation o awareness ra Hong Kong market. Mlo sabela kung balir bela lobang kamama Palau Vacation Hotel, sell free dive Palau, mani sell bes skogin mo flara February el year, el Cambodia Angkor Sky. Sige na ni sa el churn ra bela nga rabu. It's going to start in February with 3 regular flights. Kaya di kam ngir sell schedule tis el to din sa amal sharing. Ila January imlaniya farm tour gidi blem host ni temira kasus tira adra divergent travelers tira aniya kong balir til dire promote farm groups makura FIT travel tamler bela sera January 4 mira kasus so amlop the train more albab mababaldab experience egal local tour sergit egal ali pass tira kam na sumal taman impressed ra culture git Batial diving destination rigid. Tadi kalau mau plan bring in groups ra June maral mo July. Tadi kalau ni opportunity ramam na mitra ardil Susan Barry ngadiri ardil Australia interested in momrura ora farm trips el coordinator bangila bela megal bebira blura Micronesia. Tadi kalau sedrobal ora olngas ra other still air now ru is mura marshals mabolabe merbela so we're doing like across Micronesia region marketing dimlege gita ora international urolgi morul ya tigera community ngari gel 6 state el office ra PBM morul bantrin revitalize gel ora tourism infrastructure tir ma sites tir dimlege gita minister matula wa rede lang unsuna.
Ministerium sula katoy regal uk update sa gidra tora tourism di sogal ukpa di share regal uk isra post office rigid kida amdena se regal uk initiative dorul trial uk improve post office rigid wasada mo menciona qalday goteng namria tamla issue a certificate el mora ABS el commercial mail receiving agency itia ngaria post office ending si ngaria private kumbali hindi til provide a mailing service mang kadamla license ni mase mo start operational earlier that's something look help pergi dagi dam binge look limitations sa post office gid mga no service look private kumbali mo operating diregal kidam dina sel once a week emlani sel daseng flat rate packs is a flat rate paxel doldo krima blam regel is 71% lower than I gal rest amel sedimle once a week el doruri ela post master esa sem namo sel every day namo namo flight every day el moram regel semo namo every day ya del monge apply seguir el flat rate pax es el last gora pes raisa sel el gidam de se nayon tiden mo olvida kolula se me para box el Melbourne extra el box post office en Boria box radel olbila mledi 9 mang kadam lama alia email box so ela tel email box mo seman apply ra email box so instead of having a physical box you will get notice como la apply ra mailbox and then you get notice through email lo hacen area you've got mail and then kamara post office at umurura arbal ngune maskaw so kado cospera digital technology but still provide the same service so we have to be creative and find ways to help our okyari mang kado na masa limitation ara a physical box mena kado mora e-box and so mo you assign the number but technically it's an e-box and the so kada mga sula postmaster maukureril come up with innovative ways to help our okyagaride kama se limited amel vaxeride. So lastly al sebele dik ministra health dekal som ko mok musesel girela US Mercy mau activity ra ministra health and then
so lang President Tamalung tutan mo rabekla. Really quickly, since Kamla mentioned Mercy, ida matingin sa SNS Mercy a part of Pacific Partnership 24 sa klol dial hospital amlera over the holidays. Ay final numbers ra akuk tetelela guru luma services will provide mera other bela amle end up lania total of 80 bot surgeries, 132 medical engagements, a total of 1,802 dental procedures, 1,419 prescription glasses, amat, 1,442 sunglass. Amal maring lasil sa President Director Leklo aong itra sunglass. So an next step gimamayan numbers kita madangil sa ospital ani SLBS electronic medical record system magimo may gigid rokul deiral me omes lusing malwangrang services el dospe based sa legal malputok numbers especially agurura amat optometry dental may directly gigid surgeries ni direct help gigid el plan lo sa gukto sa services sa ospital ng tuire gigid lo urang ra gigid alguk adjust mo at terra needs sa community ngel guk madadar sa gigid planning team ra Pacific Fleet ra kuk tokora medical mera next week magiguk mo dong October 3 na direct guk masada possible activity ra igal maral milra guk tokora medical engagements kura dagim salsure el time la sing ngoingran sa ito da kura full report regalo and the geuro material adra Department of Defense el say real quickly akme promise statistics kaya maran din ka published sila amo Friday agad to badi lobanggela ko na graphics and the preliminary numbers sa 2023 183 roll births 176 al kodal so ang kurat talgib lugup na mutul flip amang letalgib klo roll ra kodal gaya the numbers sa moto del morgamir el alweek directly include agad top causes of death sa 2023 so talgib lungin la oura compared to 2022 hindi still mal gora klo abriol gida del gutmukli lastly sa legal maklol project tra hospital the worth rangara 4 million little over 4 million including the 2 million in the appropriation will be specifically for repairs to regel uriol bangela director Brian Malaire public works and marula bid regel mo replace sa chiller water treatment system yero kuya mo umu laudio ngira as early as next month so the director ngitra coloring adra abulul mera hospital was mo claudiol almarara gal maral mel tel albuil maldito reng sa kura sub del girela tokora construction work hospital last taktim ring asulit tirigel mle assistant kamamre Eli agilu per breakfast al guktim le adra held ministry held anya St. Joseph Church Choir masel Couples for Christ group ma direct tirigel rogul al guk employees rigid al adra ngol blue adra Fiji ma igal bekal bla mas amal gut makli sa igid makti ngul morse nganya questions sa edel and sa sulang
dik material kura di OSSL Pacific Partnership material US NS Mercy Alberbela o imlaria tukura held lulu landin dirigal ari other activities of course abandam lartiang tilteklia aira gotet waise oi di luma madam will blum di dirigal no sabril conduct a workshop seluk Coast Guard, el gira la bowling, tokora earth, dirigam na sports tournaments, muna 3-on-3 basketball, dirigam na medical conference, masel HADR workshop, masel human assistance, disaster relief workshop, le conducting PRR vice vice dirigal mlania uk igel uk nesora to engineering and kiat team mirula gagarusel project lu kon sera to rablu kada mal meringa sulir sel partnership lo migila blura brigele to get tiro der bela mora aruk tamal look forward rasing ngara telmuten berbelaw ndaxtul mo rasing ngaraw de sugirel tianex lo moral ndi andi kada maral meringa sulir leng di kadil sel partnership sel almaq da sen dim lo mse kada blu adire klolo do dali litira geizera blur belaw kada meringa sulir adram brigel mal sera como dura colina pase msende gele cruise ship remil me sa ai gawa de la urior ndi ga de sa gal me ga triga me diri gal giren mara blu من diri gal ngari adel mut tarak lol dial mera february sel dial blue ridge se tal tela merul dar tela da ngari no e tangar tela im mak same se da diri gal mercy am le with the dart so just to give you an idea من kada se presence is deterrence and then dirigat sel meng global itira blum kada menga sulir lastly disol gadi motachri sulang Mr. Sole gora tabelamle uko aisro asa last year employment amle ngilse ekra 16 saying almost 17% and that's a sign of the economy is coming back kada say one of the reasons why social security are suffering a deficit of about 13 million a year ang song sar adlo urior so we need to get them back in the workforce and contribute to girela atagora contribute more a tax system rigid adi so almut dirgal highlight niya kadam kadatan masadri minimum wage dirgal umra lo assessed increase the minimum wage and dirgal lo manura ss dirgal help rigid so hopefully motim CCISS muksya dal mo das will increase our benefit to our retirees and that's you know we know lo saying bring natin ang okra dekal deal rather urior mar retirees I think one of the things you know that giral highlight niya kada nga sularado ol bill amlo sabi lo tobda udo this year take care of the government the national government and state government to make sure that tirrogui whether or a state government, malubo or a national government, as of October 1st, they get state governments ang ila enough ludo, they'll make sure every employee gets a 75 cents increase or $60 a payday, additional to the $60 they got before. Masemal will toy, mal maruda elia, ureng sa house, ukmle introduce ra, dekal introduce, ukpas ra differential bill. Podemos hacer tenemos el bill de la Senate. El base minimum wage aquí el más el mo 650. El algún mes la house took na tele imo con 854. Anyway, dito lo rin Mr. Gasola hace kada mo hace klo albu rablu. What we need to be able to do is work together to come up with solutions. Help ra rablu. Oise, ay da tara treta el dogi help ra rablu. That's democracy at work. Mal continue la dadu el siga solution ng initial trial el siya niya ono sir adrablu man si il matmo kala dang clear il kadam na say mring la adan okrablu wala why your program ra uklorura tax refund these are all ways el gidat mage ono sir adrablu regel niya ranganela dan okrala time unfortunately gida daga control gida putin maybe Moses and seven mora mesa putin asking was mom stop kyan makamada kada mal bulang but anyway step by step lastly edikwate al congratulate trabala modake school this week we will celebrate 50 years and what is el togobet sel anniversary tir Friday maktiri kan mamdara reklada sebong diri kan contribute to mortal school el schoolet el cloud tutorial school el milisi rakli bela ma atletela adar bela gida me se ala kay gida kadam kara adar bela magadamra al maringa sulir striel el milili aurior se tiel el gilisi aido milisi aido especially el chairman walel telurior ngiro obatang sa alboy siral ngima al dabel bol dak ulit al urior git telo mesar de el igal na momre gal ngima rak el gida arder tigel togol adel na mor tel school mla togol ma da continue milisi aureri da nga seur tir tel anniversary dire gal da kan congratulate trial best governors ma leitor sa blura amal gayo mangaram lungoy Governor Paloy, of course, Governor Ilolang, Ramasaw Francis Ilolang, Ramasaw Bolt, re-election ertir, swearing in ertir, morir ela, ngaramluy ela, longaywal urior, malagayo a Friday. So, diktu yagi de bike open aula, lalagire lagir mangin, aman sulo.
Total President, Vice President, Ministers, Attorney General, Director. Total. A question nga mo Director Elway. So ako adi curious to know. Elwaseng aday tayeng kung la expectra telal adra government elbom dispersa check el mortigel 15,000 el medio. Okay, open girl siya say Daitang wangarak lunga ludo dal amo top the say kita time. Sulap.
Man sulara gire Mr. Osole dimnak katmuklo ba bingil ang government ma private sector hindi kumadingil wasi o sel overall lo ura de kordir gomes ra 3,000.
3.
Little over 3,000 al at. Ese dia kadil dul wasing based calculation hindi kal dirigel amle tat ngarba early rate hindi tenemiyo dal start low rear dirigel al markil dirigel so is ngi grinding dirigel contribute more overall number as to amount algoritmly rough estimate ngara about 2 million.
Kumsulang direct question ng mora tourism. President ako ram na mention director PVA director ko ram na mention luaseng sel air New Guinea ako ram elara ang amna nga taltela elar okya kan ngi kato ko visual mo blank luasay do you may gagi marketing efforts kami ngani ako ra projection luasay elal ko krakal 2024 ng amo nga knowing luasay kadal lumutal amo askal extender tial silwal merkat unit March kadal amo extender lagi.
Ang sana lang will question kambes hindi ka projection sige molam dik palo wise. Sabi ka ma-minister Mitra Wan Rardil emle obligation or belaw. Nga dire ka lawra lam 3 baby tour operators. So for the month of May ang dita trill group salop the trill May. Each group pangaradori lat. So egal effort loring a president may galoro la minister mo obviously gida ang anya maklol impact ring. So we have the dive acknowledgement ng dive planet. They're bringing in groups of divers up to 15. Minsa edar kung si el January mo March numbers among arba al previous year. As far as projections, they have said project the extension of 3 months. Hopefully within the 3 months kada magiging mo win sa el mutal extend. So lang.
Sulay PVA managing director. The question ng almora Minister of Health. So mal interesting ang minister lang ay gigil figures mo ulto ba ay gel guru lora amada mamlora dental. Wasn't la Ministry of Health or mese maybe kada a focus lang kasi kung kara mo provide enhance improve a service mo o sa mi ulo tukura wai sige tulungan la augurula siya mo kora elaborate on your point.
Ay se takal kakada lurio de kambes ngira dal mo omes lo sing ngaral service wangara tao ra service provide. So for example tirgal ang lowes el gira la kukura amat gira dal mo omes sa tetelak tira asukal tetelak tira kukti miltamalam drir or so igigita mo help palgid el plan ra kuk tetelela services moving forward mo include a human resource wasil sugumong kodome sa a trend rarak tulo sa kanila mo spare toktang ramat ing lagi ram ko komdas wa mo hire toktang mar ko specialist tare gigi del field mang sel ada kal mere that time igut makling la telal buil ending include to telel mora kora long term planning ra ato kora guru
sulang alak mo tel kumstri tel kampura karir
malungit tutawe question na kamura minister udoy sel tal nombre kal tal budget la ra ka nganya language ngil el ruli PPUC mende kal hara or sel loan ra cash remove ngira kel bill payment ra question as it jangarang mo impact ngira kuksel rating ri kitra ADB Michael kwa ureoral niya altang angara plan sa kami maralmay osilta mengara ko ra solution to that problem mengara ako ra plan de lo se takada di oiti alu mengara ko ra alto adun maral if there is.
Thank you, Lei, for a very informed question. And yes, you are correct. Before the new year, we did have this challenge of not being able for PUC to pay the loans that they have taken, in particular for the Kuro Irai sewer project. And the national government was also prohibited from making a payment. And we are still actively engaged with the bank that we are a member of, which is the Asian Development Bank, and expecting further assistance from them, not just in the form of a loan, which we are currently waiting for signing, worth $25 million, but also any grant money. For instance, tomorrow I'm expected to sign a $5 million grant from government of Japan through the Asian Development Bank to help small businesses to install solar on their roof and to lower their utility bills. All of those were in jeopardy. Fortunately, we worked very hard over the holiday season. Both the Asian Development Bank high officials came to Palau. We worked together with them to develop an agreement signed by the President, the Asian Development Bank, and the PPUC, coming to an agreement on what needs to be done to finish this Kuro Irai sewer project and what funding is needed, and that ADB had committed to support us, focusing on trying to find us more grant money to pay so we don't get further into debt. We were able to sign that agreement by the end of the year. President and the Asian Development Bank and PPUC signed that agreement. I will be forwarding a copy to Congress for their review. And that has allowed us now to pay the loan and avoid going into arrears for our loan payments. So we have cleared the first hurdle. Now we need to make sure that we do continue to protect our credit worthiness, not just to Asian Development Bank, but this applies to all countries. The major countries involved in the Asian Development Bank are the United States and Japan, two of our closest partners. So it also jeopardizes other relationships when we don't pay our debts. Thank you.
Sira dago gotrung obi semlaria aldaso se dabora USDA ya askar tiraman the defaulter se loan ergidra PNCC elagda peringi emro el forgibringi gel secretary ra agricultura di luri delo ase tila selmrelli inde galmut te alra te al gorkomio mutemne recommend el mergidro ase agi by extend a payment, give you more favorable terms, and through that process I'm said eligible more than $35 million grant el fiber optic el both implementing el belau which FSM I'm not eligible. Why? Because it's the default loan. So one of the things اللي كده المو understanding عشان close to تلال أظهر بالسيد. أقمدين واسع ترى ملك عنشان أقدر والبيلا. واسع well تيال لون الدنيلول تيال سوور الincomplete كده من مصدر الحراري تدق الفير تيال ADB عمله involve بري. دي كده ما understand واسع ADB عمله عبانغ. تيجا لون كده وضوء. كده عمله implement project. تيال project عمله implement ريرا 2015 عمله كده الممرقة 2018. I know Mr. Gasole عمله part تيال كاسبا. مماري audit report من التوبل ريلا audit public auditor basically هو يسكت واسه تيال ملث. من غير أمرين كده كم راسين تقدر هارب لانس التل ملث. So sometimes we have to take responsibility, and you know it's hard for us to accept. Say look, so that I think I say ADB, I didn't understand. I say incomplete project, we need to finish it. And yet, I say good makli. So, sell MOU basically, will help you finish it. Please, I'm harap and see. Ilagi dam tayo say ngari ate alra additional loans and brand me amori olngil. دخل صادر التملي سيد التعال من important هذا دخل أورام ترادرو البيل بدل أنت ترادرو البيل to protect the consumer protect the بلو دي يدرو مثلا على التال تقول واسه أيقال دورو له مرال protect ريدا هذا long term impact ريم مكان so كنت شاسي عمله قول ريدا واسه ده دقتها أيقالو داس كم up with an agreement مقدمة قدمنا أيسر أدرو البيل قدمنا forward رقاب بيرسي من سيد البيرسي اللون من دخل متمال إيسيد. I think the second thing الأدريق الجيرة المو نوتري سيل لار سيد باسني الدريق الملو وال الستوبر سيل monthly service charge. ويسي اللولارية PUC سيل $15. Before قدم لهارا 5 إلا تملي تلي تطوري جسري. ونيرو يقدر أسي سيل calculation يقدر repayment ترسلون من توب ترسل يقدر أسوره من ناريدوس. يقدر دريق مو understand ترسل impact ترسل مرة PPUC. impact ترسل مرة PPUC هم تريق مو دخل سيل provide يقل service يقدر demand تير. لسيل سو من دخل سيل collecta enough لودو. يتم غرا provider عران مسؤول يقدر أسبير تيل provider. من غير الملمول ما ضدو إن غير try to find solutions رسم غرا help را PUC. من سيل من المول ما يقل سيرفيس ما يقل لا الجدا مرولا أوي سو هذا البروتكتر consumer and I understand الشيء جدا التقوي but قال بو let's find ways الهلبر تجيله سبيعنيس إذا تيجي تصير قط البروبلم مش كده البالاسي سير هذا اللي سام له هلبر وطن له هلبر أدر بيلار روغوي تصير كمل واي شيء دين دريق الهلبر هوتيل لما شو باي الكمل واي شيء كم يوم ندير قال دقم بير تيال جيرو البيرين الكوسترا سور دقل بقولون بير سير جيرو الكوسترا ران إنقرا دقل make sense to me also مقدر invite را investment را سبير بيلاو مقدر هوتيل راو نيجي provide a subsidized الرال ملي غرقاو يجي provide a subsidized السور اللي غرقاو تلقى جيري الميل contribute at least البيرسل cost a service اللي كده providing. I think سيدا جيري ده اللي ساقين مرة هذا من سيل ضرورة policy اللي لقى ده blanket. Let's work together الترايل الhelp نجير هذا لوس بيعني so. And that's the same thing applies in more PGST. A PGST exactly what we're doing now. one البلانكيت الغابر البكلاد يخدموا التلودو ده المي prioritize help نجير هذا بيلا لوس بيعني so. That's what Elway is doing with their tax refund. So Sula. نسوق الغراه highlight the importance of question really.
Quick follow up on that. Sel bila kora malmo last minute pasal ma madengel assembly madame ekamlo sign ni mangani akora ikal el tu ongul bangel all sel time na secretary sign off for sel
كده of course all bill اديو الباتي البيل مو last minute ودرو كلين ميم غداسه يدي لورا لا يوسان اذا كونتينيو لا دو ماك ملي فيرست النرالات عملي واسي كاميدا سولفر تيال ايشور كده مع اي دي بي ما ولا ام او يوم ناو عمرك ملا كده اوك مو دورا دور البيل واسي كامي اوك سولفر تيال سيتويشن اب يو سي واسي let's find a solution for them المرال مون I understand there's still concern till girela rates, ma bulir adrablu. Don't say adrablu, but let's help till adros pe ageso. Ila kadi the blanket help para reduce our background. Sura.
Maldi short follow-up clarification Director Elwe. Still, come mention wasing tirigel maybe clarify more other Lawrence. Tirigel 15,000 and below. Tiramumalara tax refund. Also, donate for example, like tuition ng kaskula, deductible andarala. Mo deduct I can deduct the seludo the bololaringi. Alukom di I mean you're going to give them back, let's say adamila 15,000 makapay ba telang
10%. So
1.5
I think
you're going to be deducting I get already la tamla at I can apply el arak mendal.
illegal تلغي ذلك أو مثل وسخذ مقلمة tuition بالظهراو نتخذ أو مثل وسخ بيطلع مسوي له سندي على تأذي المساحة 110%. كله نمو ذي على refund نمو نمو so a refund the sell 15,000 other below المسوق 15,000 مليون ang wahan tiaro gil taxel belarani sel lagel kaya ligar tuition man profits ay refund up to 10% of the tax sigdam le la so kodam la tiro gil mong ngara alsel.
Okay.
I said there was before and get milsugra 15,000 at taxel blel penia medal taltela. Let's use that as an example. Masel eligible refund ringira before 100 tala. Ela kading usal taltela masang technically lang mada kablugol submit yourself receipt kada dim sa rogil da kablugol.
A question say ticket na madingila sa the file again the filing is an issue. So the file for tax refund the deadline ngara January 31st or is it time how is that?
So sel tora non-profit ma tuition say usual the deadline nga 90 days after bol mergara so kodam siringi nga March. January 31st the deadline are employers. Esel malungil malmsal msigal dirigan mo takli. Employers ngidil employer ablo belaw ang nga alera sel endradoria 31st January engirel tul W2 alorul awan abil file ng Bureau of Revenue Tax ya imongan ngul sa employee lesel statement ta girel more employee lo asay tiagida black qarar qarten number garak ay gida black withhold mga basis sa gida withholding employer sa gida refunding.
I think for now I can give this mas kauting yung other questions. So,
malungil silsila ko ka president tikale nga babal adal ramlo labang retir malungil besrak le kor ka guramal akmal rin sisel umsodem maral kirela ko Christmas kirela tulungal ka family din ko sa besrak ay kuram ngri ka o sa mga taklita mo pang kita besrak di ko ka later sem ere emro ko itigita kere president sil tukol dilo para bulurang esarat ba December 21 mark klol sil bukumes klol del rengel anestina aton islam adir ka kaldo por belaura tingar kit sil mo ko diraat engul mo oiti eso sabi kamrong tangaringel bu kang esaral mlasay Emilim adagor sel blay mer kom sama ulmlom menglol report rasis mora bulis ramal gilbu gal agida del mom sa awor del segilon de gal dub tumlol do chikrases be mer ko emtikra adan namdul meng gumes sel affidavit ra bulis magilom sa de black prince ar bulis marat rablu marad rasina ngarbelo en moblatak luasea tirgal adam le sebe edel la arrestar tira de wan malo when they to at least within 24 hours malo 48 hours ay kil timeline sa low ice ay kil ngangi akume sa arrest rule se rule sande rule tal silsa rauriur omei mung seldo mes ela mlaringa tiagi de press conference tiang acting director arbulis amane to ga kalotangai aktibo legere mo katak was de kalotangai mo abul katak le president was ya omredar arbulis arrat se aul din na lek madengel was tegal okmo tegal bui ga mokl ngari skulir ngari ata training tir ngari experience tir omredar arbulis isem desbel omredar sol como yagel digam klamom ng ligam doon mo mang tiagi da karik tial bia pulis mol el waisel el meredring adibus ya tinga ngari ko tom lao geringin ding ngari bina time president lo si sildo mesaikal dal ngareng mo itegir to kom lado ang lagi do mo meslo ase lagi mo katmokol tiang umredel Ekal am dengan wasa idelis itu kumle arresta mle chasa teru el ada Malaysia silisana Malaysia ngarbelau in malbertia president selno mesra Christmas mani wir belau nemring la adam nemadak teatura safety ma security mak ugar gal wasit nguang rat ya gider tukur omreta bla polis ngal adang ram rigel
so gotru le sulanga garim of course details rage sa yang arala aging sumwa ya somilo gel gel la yang la aging agadim sadra urior umra lo sa yes kongelo ngilo sa teatro klol talmal na dobra blu belo degal kol tal ngari klol talmal ra blu belo pai tekngelo bangem lo sa trigam kita urel adra bla bolis باي جريد الغوت الأمات ترتير ما أضرب لور بلال ملوت ما يقول لا السيل ستري لا ضع السيمر السيمر اللي دال سيل توب ذلك قلت مقلع evidence ما رغول قدم لا make sure قد prepare ده ما سيمر تير كذا البيبرة تامن أوي سواد عمريد دي قال سواد عمريد مضامي من كذريق الغاية سوى جد مع أدرى ميديا لجيس أصلا عندنا investigation خبير من عندنا investigation نرى البوليس الأوروري أكثر عادي say the observation أنا of course كذا maybe ندم لك نرتيا دي I'm still connected قدرين سكميرا يوتيوب ما أروح توه سيدا دوليتين كذا أسبرا cooperation mang bebera time I think most importantly congratulate we ramle ngulurerir and then yes a director is arriving what Thursday night or Friday night the tirigal mla acting director ako muna sa tamiru ra ngulurer ok pastriate alo sa tamiru ra ngulurer nakadidol tubertir ta blagaran dir magikarela trying to show lo say dirigal sabari rawra so sulang nagarim
ma tida next elam halo ko ay sa president kay acting elanga ma ulawre it was aditara imol kala mal mtinge ko mesan usablu ad mamrigel of all the place sildu aklol tol watiang ingil immediately metod har adra ngara especially a minister mama atoni chera pa oitegil tol smodil murabuai tel tol delu selsi salu de after dimna ka president akmade tigal police they do their job ding mal tal Sunday inga gol tob dan klelen kal adam lamat agi gol ikal ndial sel tob kal adam lamat ma oitegi erul Sunday ita mangar retilo mesel dia sorbe erul Sunday in file a charge kamu ngomong das ringi das amal mering to ngaka dia bu ngaka mal almara polis tiga amal mering loron teletar omredra ngidil organization business makalmet umreda clock to telel. Sa point na nga hindi ka telwa sa laming kal adam. Mga Google wa sa mangkalmeng almut mo umreda bulis. Nga dilulu sa lutel men di mo advice o mo.
Katiga director. Malsum may resign hindi ka resign. So hindi halak pasate alla AG ma of course Vice President ng RTM. Maldu sa sel girel sel kumara wa setrigam netto dem saada to le gorgom. Immediately. Ojendia. Wala ya press conference raw era bes. Okay. Sula.
Ngire mal understand ro set kya clone case. Ara adra blia bulisa direct ngani angal sumasir. Raim maklaqadal sel dub away tial clone case. Kida tial mlomalara a medical examiner akwam mal kadum longal tangat matigingel meramre at time. Man sab edal identify ang kalan. Of course, our segi the kadi was ntaang di until segi the positive identification rule yang mo sabi edal to the in marabul was ngahmal taalan. Ma cause of death segi the mengel medical examiner akwa mamlo sabi el autopsy mun rule lil to ko. Hindi tiap mal mering lurior. Bilar buli sa kidam le rilara CCTV tiang. Ay ke mal betokal ars CCTV kidal require adlomes. Di akal sabi edal di tuwa badal di malakwa di akal dodang iltoy. Yay gay gida gi mospe mo sa amal fara guys makautel no sabi emal morakor tengo kapira affidavit of probable cause ma charge and mal lob lakatak kulwasi ngara di luba. At least gay gida allegations sa kama magikuktim ura karrakaril molto daigel evidence gi mola support taigel charges el mortirigal el atatilap telol malas for el adra Sina materul adra a Malaysia
Chinese
ay gel ngak labya ko ngela se active ngela se tola baba sport el Malaysia mat a Sina emge grel adre tirga ngar 22 23-year-olds people in their 30s 40s ma 50s dia kalbeyot lureur ko asing beyot hindi direct ko nga niyang alsangasid even mag-analyze and dia ka a crime scene and dia ka klaka the level momru same ko dol ngita help outside del may makmal direct kal amatra adra bla bulis mal leung ilaw rerid blem kater tandi at least 3 law re or tirga gila adal galbus takal sa il to level tirang arba 1 kil adra Sina 1 million tigel tedel Lulbanggela 250,000 et tirgel terul adra Malaysia 15,000 melat ngara kalbus elal mengil elal silsra 1 o'clock ang mornya a trial police hearing conference at tirgel tialguk murder in the second degree Michael hindering prosecution ya 23rd enguk osisul to koel mortirgel terul adra Malaysia for hindering prosecution of course ang nga reol guk involved la manghitalgar ese dir ka marail di kal se ekal masader ngir el al time di se ekal mula se nganya reol girela am manghitalgar el direct involved til kay gidal at til kay gidal 6
Tigida ta question la amreda rulis sa dilulu sa to se labora uriwa hearing ra sel kutel hearing la last week do se labora aplia bulis tika mo kakayakla ni kasi iltmakal tika gidal adas el al sils tatmak ngara imorum a problema dia ka simple dia ka rumela question la nga wasi sel tirga sel da nga imul basyo de ko sik mi gom da experience se ada sinas ra bol kalbus tigel 200 talat sel boldak tirgal mo ka studi ma oi kai gide telgi momring tirga dire ngari atel biliri ke lorul temal mol mul waisal temo ka ka tirgalat
makahalaguger raw ko gila ngel mena ka oger raw kangila information raw sa tirgel abat makar reger lenga ka information mera nga makmal mla ko abla bulis verify taka nga nakakaraw sa bagasyon abla bulis kita ka madangel was tiya ke garel el jail hindi nga kamlong last week dulo na kasi hindi ka tartil kakaraw nga nakakaraw sa basyo kakaraw sa cells They have no access to each other.
Ngani asor sa ngam kakasalo ay sila dik mo man malbeto ka kudengel ngara sila involved ka ala luway se hale dik buway se presidente mo kakrom sul sosa adrasina megiril te del adapek ogadal gaigida mekot ngari ongrum ongedei indi tiagi me sal tobada segidil day before the after tobada ma news no stop of course tiga direct tiga security bla ring la dosi mo atang mata tiga dir mungkin employer ngel boy temring la ding mala ka admito sing ring la handle away ka gidel case.
Mr. Ludong, makautel nga niya additional information al-molap milo ko kol rabli abuli sing amal sa el mongo sutrira investigation tegidel al-gays ng kagid Attorney General was mal complex complicated yung kanyal mutal additional tool Malaysian sil kukuram la implicated baka kalel sa etal kayong ise why say the public al dolngit adrabalul nga ni information lolap that would lead to the arrest the malubeng additional information sa el ngosugi der tial gays malolita nga sa orkaw. Okay.
Dia ako masado ringgel ulmos adring SR. Nga kamal dito ito kasi di ba mo hingi dalat. Sila information mo lab. Please share mo ngela bla police, ma vice president, ma AG. Letia kita disuadal klagara bloat el safe. Ka maluwil investigator mo dos pero
Presidente nakalo mo malam ada course sa summer house ra aywal
Hali dik edal mugdel. Okay. Mel ginong direct inkal one or tirgal adal involved ako ngaring ya involvement ring ilagay sila asaibal wanted asaibal direct possibly ngaring ya against federal case ilgidel manggira dal kay nga sew rogo illegal rogo provide the information al mer kamam asa amal gukmay pasan mortigal counterparts ra kamam nga rangod al balul smisi agay serti
HCL medic guget yang tukar adal me oger nga kem sa ngi mung dawdak sen klama ngey kidel adal nara saibal ngeng maral nara yatel me so is baltim naka immigration
daalat
Feya, gay gidi.
Hindi ka record del Black West lo oti seguida di record del Black West singmula raskogil me so isper belaw. Seguida am lekot tal tamel bel tour belaw.
kita ko presidente lagdo mo sobremente de mortirgan el veiga director ko ulo ay selo asen ngara 2 million e que ludo del mo return lamang tirgel 15,000 na dudir medio tirgel ko ngari ul ada belaw ay kang tax el ngara tial mo tarak la ko mi mo return mulwa sa kilon dia kam ngaigel tax ngara boketra other belaul mai kau dudir bom bramo spel tarage mo return question as ngaria interest ngi alo ben kom di spel auto dia other return dia interest ngi
ya malungil question ngi mang sulang awera blol mre garag endimle wala le qad adjuster sel salary rate mo selnet 12 mamlo 10% mlanya talgibel indi til may se kadam tablo asay tablol domda so pala sing gel 15,000 at tamle 15 nga bonus raen lagi affect ra eligibility ra makuk up tegi del approach asay kadamal mo mre make sure asay trigel mal mil ngalgira 15,000 medio indi do mbral asay kita madingel asay leadership asay kadol meet clol comprehensive reform o masaygal sa improve matira diri kal sa ko momre go meselo asay umleungil tungul masang every $1 every 2 weeks or kada mo refunding and the lump sum ding diri kal ko masa risk lo asing raw risk mo nya mo to ngariat mo sulang
Di boda blagatak le Mr. Uludong. Sira boda dogurit sil merel al sils 1994 al merel al sils. Ay gagi del tax el pera, ay gagi del pay. Tel salary tax ay gagi del pay. So this is the first time. Ligida di un mutul meltin mistri roger. So it's not a new tax. This has always been there. We are now taking kadunga te ala lungun mastrir. El lultui rase ngari ogar garingir. Mengira dano mesen tela garingir. Mendekal sia del di ulara raga da determine sen tela garingir. Ombre gatarrak, ombre garingir. Egun mastrir. So, sulang.
The follow-up question, that question again, I get the issue at 15,000. Ngani agora uldas well proposal ngar all bill sorry el increase el sell 15 el morabab. Although mesa inflation mal glow mang sell value of 15,000, I'm sure I'm lamo different lang besera algot lumdas well get el tella. Ma question asya sel kamlame sa get proposal nga sel 4 threshold mo misering so asab edel I guess it's up to policy makers and was decide el telang ato the get babel do misanga 16,000 kwaso sorry lo misa 16,000 se do misering feasible in terms of saying taludo del dollar in se edel enough Alo ba ko malasaray gel ko maringil para ko the swim will say if there is ma minister.
Thank you, Lei, and your question I think has multiple issues related to it. Maybe just to introduce that when we first proposed the reform, we were not talking about 15,000 earnings or salaries and wages in a year. We were talking about 12,000. So we were thinking about a much lower rate. And when we were working with Congress, they said, let's increase that amount. And we agreed. And at the time, we didn't see inflation as high as it was. And of course, the inflation, the costs are related to fuel, related to the conflict with Russia and Ukraine. These are things that move up and down. When we set the policy, we want to make sure that we don't set it too high or help too broadly because it's a small country. We cannot afford too much. So we want to make sure that we are helping as many people as we can who need the help. I think we need to look at these assistance in relation to how much we can afford to pay. And that's something that we have to calculate. So I think that's something that we, the leaders, have to consider as a policy. Once we set it, then we have to be able to live with it.
From recollection, sel 15 dinigal na basis ringira ahais. Silmle household income and expenditure survey minura 10 years ago. And the self number survey amle household income. And the kita bay sab edalwasi katwara natal givel nga ngul merbab ling based individual income. Mang superior tool arte rule earner 15,000 nga rosil household ikada refund daigel taksin.
Presidente,
I think malungi la question gale and that's why gada godolungi tra time. Kasi kami da subi domes rose un martela garnier da make sure that help particular kotros peangesu. And that includes the tigay del lado order. But diri ka tokal bangalet. Domes ringing SS al langaringi ma pension ma this has to be comprehensive because the message trial balance and make sure that the meet the needs PUC the list goes on. So sulang around we'll get and that's exactly what we need to do.
Exception.
Yeah.
Presidente, tayo maulubong ang karik. ela kadam la mu urara kara 2024 president mang kadam ngulela sa last year kar office e kad ko cosmary tial 11th government republic ma el alblada mu urara ke kadang sa last year term merga ngari ako rabel dakela ureor mo ramla kutmok wase ka gidara era krigit ti gidar ko term merga ke yakutmok re ara ang semsier sula
gumralo sa last 3 years ekadam min ngadarodor ela kadam mal dingara implementation kada of course ang ngani sir kol kita magtatal sa atin kasi tara ko to close to trella minimum wage we need to get it passed kada it's still late way late but at least kadorol giral there's still more legislation that we need to deal with and marayigil sa daloram teatro bill el gutmoklo whether it's corporate registry marayigil aircraft registry kada continue mo daloram bill kasi let's finish those and kada na sing ngaria te alra agaragel merbelaw I said that the Sheriff Minister, I think one of the things, if you look at the report financing, uno tilo sa last year kada gargarnya dara shipping registry amle 2 million. Gargarnya dara digital residency amle 1.4 million. So programs that we have, marada we need to enhance them. Gaya na say additional services that provide more shipping registry, corporate registry, digital residence, because these are create atal uklamutel mlisi irtial eganamir gid of course atodonglia close to trela mlisi eganamin dingan egel mudir kan close to trela dorul girela apelwat one relocation askura malgayo. That's an ongoing project that close to trela atakat makli relocation or hospital ay ongoing projects el gida malasa man mga tmok dire kan ngania aurere de lo mangela Saudi Development Fund el malara alone el help prigida mang 15 million el help prigida to housing ongoing projects and hopefully this year in sedel lotrokle uka set besides the rest of the activities and gida mga tmok rabe kalsil sil malisira to school ma alara hospital mesem to ka igel gira der mga tmok gira preparation gira la games but clone renovation and morina school hospital that we've already begun mang marto aurera de stop mang sulang ra karim of course dire require gida lo ngila olbira ko lulak se last year Mr. Udong malbring na tapasal la
sí
ora di adim lulu edonita se ka and the question was we need to tell agel ngari lurior sumania adjustment el gira make wa agel proposal magara lut help para I think those are gira lurior el arra kadam dangali sel regla da lang okno wara ngarai gel opportunities sel sadan rule el help present regla da lang whether the retirees the other lurior especially the automated so
Maldi very quick questions President akti draw out there era misa time awan President ngarsel report tra IMF ng ma direct tinggal kalwida ADB ta setel including ra PNCC ma PPUC mo alsela tal tax reform mo PGST opera tax atira kan contribute to mara inflation ra problema ngaring yaw daswal ngar olbil kwatira kolum tabet angil wasi ta possibly sorry lo to dra PNCC ma PPUC to mesalas tal communication ra PPUC mora olbil ito asin tokoram la mare apa bilingir so faring dakal salmal impacted tin hindi nga niya impactan mo customers tel coastal continue to pass it on na PNCC as nga niya impactan ngi particularly kel grant tiramlay lang amo nga niya impactan ngi ndim la calculator PGST mo kel grant mangara ko ra utaswemel gidel say ang erong sel domesa igale election of American campaign ng malhat o ko ra atal bigay ko sa domesa igale campaign going on there and the question as ngara impactor sel mora tel agreement tergita ilang ngaringi say rider budget of American so maybe adil semel update tergita gidel say last kumesa domesa igel babinir adra pension umra olbil ngoram la mura point malwa mal desperate mang again ngara ko ra the swim gel say gel issue le face nga pension wal ko mal eminent ngani ko ra that's way like you said taliman manil al sala apas elarak ngara ko ra o me sangal se el ko ra helper nga gel reform la propose ngara tele la gel musin mutukoy sige ba diterian na
Yang man beliau dah rangula Minister of Finance, muat alum sa Minister of Finance pangan mulai.
Thank you, Lei, for always giving me good questions. First, with regards to PGST, I mean, make a point that there's an assumption that when people talk that we're collecting too much. And we don't have sufficient funds to fund our operations or the things that we want, like reforming the pension or the Social Security program. So I think that's something that we're trying to address. With the reform, we are collecting taxes more efficiently. So we are seeing an increase. Some of it is planned increase in collections for PGST, and some of it is closing the hole that we told the Congress that exists in our previous tax system that we've been using since the Trust Territory administration. So we have lost so much money, and that's what we were trying to address, and I think you can see that we have addressed that. And that, I think, is important for people to understand with regards to the PGST. The other one is that we have shifted in the reform the burden to the people who are really consuming in the Republic, which are basically the tourism industry, meaning they have not really been paying their fair share of taxes. And the burden has been on the Palawan people. We have shifted that and corrected that to be more balanced in terms of who pays taxes here. I mean, when we talk about making changes to the tax system that we have created, we have to be careful not to unbalance the burden of taxes on people. For instance, food, a lot of the food consumed is consumed from the tourism industry. So if we give any tax breaks, we are giving it to those people and giving them a tax break to come to Palau when we are trying to get money out of them by having them visit our country. And those monies that we are getting from them are paying for public services, public safety, hospital services, and utility like sewer. So these are things that I think people need to keep in mind. Those taxes that we pay through PGST are really taxes on consumers, not taxes on the entity. So I think people have a misconception that when you pay taxes, PGST for utilities like PPUC, PGST, those are really taxes that you're paying that were already being paid before. A lot of the taxes that we are getting from PGST are related to fuel. And fuel is the biggest expense for the PPUC. So it's something that I think people need to keep in mind when they talk about PGST, and we have to discuss with Congress so they understand when they're proposing a change, what the true impact will be, not just on pricing, but on the overall tax collections for.
And if I can, Minister, let me just add on example of PNCC. PNCC uspera term lo sa lang nimlakal budget ringira grant, so therefore impact a grant. The way the PGST system works, sales huma contractor or a PNCC is contracting a service. Sale grant tablel penia blue rambrigel, for example, 35 million. Cellular al turbelao in 3.5 million taxel peni cellular. I say the PNCC will get credit for that 3.5 million for the following years. Among the pass it on and more customer, they will get it back. I think in lack of understanding of the system. If anything, it by help freedom al sumaria granting tribe club of there below. Girin momdul hospital mo understand how does it benefit them? Mablur bela. Most important sel lulgonia minister. I am ring ta mars. Ngaram kada reducer say mar other blue will pay less. Ngaram our tourists should pay less. Why? Ang ngani extra ludo they don't help pra pension, don't help pra SS, don't help pra other bela los peangya so. So let's help rather all be more understand the second side. And I think the mal focus or tell amount. Takpan say Senator Basilius amla talk sure Moses mal swaldi get rid of the toy. But we need to understand. So what do we use tax money to take care of? How does it circulate? So it takes time for everybody to understand. Continue.
Thank you, Mr. President. And to add to your point about the grants, normally when the Republic gets grants, taxes are included. They're considered Palau's contribution to the project. So grants are considered, but what we have done with PGST is make it upfront. So you can see the total cost that Palau is investing in for the project. Before you did not see the contribution from Palau. Now with PGST, you see Palau's contribution to the project. So Palau was giving up something to get the grant. Now we are showing what we are giving up, which is more transparent and I think a better policy when it comes to tax and also to spending money. The next one you asked was about the COFA. We expect that there has already been discussions in the U.S. Congress about our bill that's before both houses for review. We expect that the Senate will be meeting next week, and hopefully we can get that discussion resolved. Of course, most of our challenge with the Compact of Free Association review agreements for all three countries, RMI, FSM, and Palau, are tied up with challenges with the U.S. Congress. So once they resolve some of the other issues, like offsets to try to keep U.S. deficit down, as well as how to help the Ukraine and Israel with the challenges that they're facing with the conflicts in those two countries. Those are sort of in the way of our agreements being passed, but there is very strong support by the U.S. government, both the executive branch and Congress, to have these agreements passed as soon as possible. And they understand the challenges that we're facing. All of us are still struggling to recover our economy. We're not out of the woods yet. So while we're talking about things as if we're back to business as usual, we're not in that place, and we are also working on trying to find other resources to bring us back, assuming that that's possible within the next 2 years. For the pension plan, one of the bills that we hope to introduce this year is the pension plan reform. We've had a workshop with the community representatives to design how the new pension system will look, and we need to act quickly because the longer it takes, the more we lose. So we do want to fix that for the future, not just for the people who are pensioners, but those people who we want to stay in Palau and work and continue to work and contribute so they can also have benefits when they retire. But we also have a similar reform we did with the Social Security that is sitting with the ROEK, and we're hoping that they will act on that. Not only does it fix the problem of we're paying out more than we collect, and of course, part of this problem is we have a lot of older people and less people, younger people in our population. So this problem is only going to get worse as it goes along. So we have fixed that, proposed a solution for the Social Security program, and that also gives better benefits and more fairness in the system going forward, one that will self-adjust so we don't have to give more appropriations to Social Security people. And the system will adjust based on what we call wage inflation. As wages go up, people will get more money in the pension system. So I think these are the solutions that we do really want to push this year because these people need it for their retirement. Thank you. I hope I answered your question.
This year, Assembly 2022, the proposal is sella address la togora SS. تقدر المدير المريلا. through funding through ADB ترى قد سنتان تلمي مغالية ميتين كذا رولي على المنت مغل رولي مولو درسين مرة بيقولهم تقدر المدير. يقدوك مرة pension تقدر نام رغوريلا المو مودارس المو ما دير يقولون ترى دور بلا سو. We have to look at things comprehensively, but give the lomas. And we know change is hard. But the most important le de segalduli SS ma pension diga tam troba igelu do moraraf. En commitment diga make sure and dekan matro. The proposal trial was especially SS ase magarang el bonia process el dogiungi era del suga SS el lagado politics ni bol base wage inflation sel oral tel dol mran merbab marado mala SS melo mungil mran merbab ela ngaramo ko di ngara feeling mung mutemela senkyo adi bla tak mutemela senkyo mung tigar vitari sama la betok hadam strau do oje this is ending el bankrupt so the bankrupt system we need to stop making policies based on سيد الفيلينغ ريد كذا بيسرا فاكت لونج تيرم اللي يرى لان الجد أقول سيرا كنا تقصير من مقاسي دي problem ريد دي مرورا ودي ران الجد because that's what we do sometimes كذا continue دي هذا بيري لقد أدرس ريد لان بيري ما وريو دي سيل بيري ما وريو لا أمين سيل واسي كذا ملاس ريد لان ران الجد ما مقاترين
كذا موت لا بلا
so كذا كاين سيو and it's all of our responsibility. Part da help public to understand and make sure I can ada al matrob if anything will expand.
So the president ng aulbong le kita para klol rubar mengerti ale am lamom or adle raklangre ti mai roi sel droba ke tore dra al de se podak bolsang ada me meserkite asendia ka se apal soy la mama brand name kamal saule ak madagi na mitra time di tiang amal close to tele president ko first try ire ko mesel ka kamla sen mom op ay gal luror era rak glason mol ngua e oi ser pol merek tiang elskum ko ngua e ko mesel la mo ira sen ko mali kamal mo tautal alto ko mol ko Mereka presidente hal ariren selo sak melek trader kami mengaga me am mengaga kali ada sedak kita minister justice ngartiang aku masukin justice ang ilua F ya hospital ang ilua di amei ang ilua AB plus hindi tial mlodak trader ang kalma minister igal mlodak utung igal relm la mo opok trader era ko sem wa F lang lapto kalurun kal minister public work mai kang ndi daklo aisem ndi president akmal ndi mnak lo kantang yule mesra gudor tarak Sikirat 2023 ngani ate lewe minister kafal redeem yourself relal tarra kamde ma attorney general ma minister ya minister education ang ilua abi plus oi mangamo larung le ma minister ngara culture ma adire kal ngilo abira tourism B plus dire kal mal ungin mara lauror finance dire kal ngilo palngar pa palngar abi pio wais waseng akik mal melui rekamim ko mal mo rikik lal senkyo len sebe the next year the May and the other the sekmiu malolingit te agida onti ke president tokora transparency ma openness ka mal open sila me kumis gdimu do ma toy madiak mai kam direk dikmu ngungi loy kumis ka ma krebela direk dikmu do ko yakal di surprise di sel mala information na minister of justice amal made lek mal dingi ma do laun ngela mal mring toy te agidel kaisra abla pulis malo otir kal 2 weeks ak malo ngi terkemit sel onti nga wasi el albes rak di mo top kal information dia kablemente kita kokla da blu di mo top it's okay eli a minister environment ma fisheries ma ikang mal rile ay gimle tour facility ng esar nga maktire kam na kasabe kelsi se dia ko manom asarung ora ko mesel brede lauror may kinam katmok manekeng lowais mera ada media ako mesel ngi abo me karak la aswal ngwa A plus din mal se kita maklo to trail makmalolingi tra minister public or may kang mal to ka uriri ako mesel dia ka mal masang dia kelel burnya amgil kurapi ay ora kablement ay kalbek minister at least ngara regular basis at all top the information.
Mr. Uludong arung kaya ka Minister of Justice ako amal dil ka ko onti mal dil ka respond dal morning also kung ang kada remember ka logger nga kagera also if you did actually say very federal more acting director Gabriel malumang attorney general girel tel toera tel recent case involving tel kodal mases para ewal hindi malso provide information mo ka hindi ko na dira mo o si iselulo ko ni attorney general was isel ko pending investigation and blow dahil salman si edel disclose sa information mang el-al mo nga kautel mo crader nga kan el-al ra makmal mo labay mo niya special one-on-one na Ministry of Justice makara every week mo si Emmer on me ko gere
personally ka mal transparent
iksulang
hindi at aranlen
tikal
Alex Pedia presidente was ka andre mul was ka hotel natut kamre dar bulis kam diga semen ma attorney general mendre kan mering kami communicate ka komes ka hotel mo hindi kama presidente ano one on one ik mama
Ming sel Efraim o cheng sel tribo ka
okay sula presidente
sulang sensei kakmera sensei sel partra ngaralira olsis akla oy otolsis akle grade sel grade ngir ngaria criteria ngdom sa test ma homework ma batol sometimes ega tiaw qadim lewan al homework el talmal le kada wa f usually tial grade egal calculation ega rogo maqadi litro ase ورامل ممكن تروح اف ماينس اف ماينس او ترى جريد اللي جاي بيسالك هذا برا جي بي عندك اسئله كالكوليتري شو لا انا اسال لول سولا ميديال الكريتيكال جيده hold us accountable I think what's important is a government تكير accountable مقبرين اسولي وسيجد الاوك نرى ليو hold us accountable so
como sulang el presidente Mr. Uludong Aluspera first person pronoun Uspera se aquí esa presidente para mi canción so de puro disclaimer lo hace se de report card para mi canción por favor
da tenía todo el sensei me yo último la clase Okay, madal chung moiseng gomaral musulang the continue in the mosan first of all proclamation al rak etia presidential proclamation number 24/360 etiang amo declare amandra February is anti-human trafficking awareness month ngote alem sa Vice President mangkora mos modi at mosayin.
Mansale, Mr. President, nguk maasel teme del gire del report sele United States Trafficking in Report, melangad mo mesagel urere la government el guko mo or sera April 2023 Almera March 31, 2024. Gire the report etial report tawa sengrang riru la government. Al gire la reduce, prevent human trafficking, dire kal provide a protection al morar victims, dire kal gire nga niya prosecution. Mang andi ko ta ko islo say kita kami amdenge adamla tier 2 watch list ela nga tier 2 ya malo marang alwasing la asabe edel mora tier 1 ya aldo mang club el gol gire del improve our ranking ergid US State Department sa lome saigal ranking ergid ang sabe eli gigil sumado nga rawet del mora tier 3 siya ko tel ngario ang mauuleng wayal kora tomalisel kukte eledra arwa o malalo ng sabe irel wayal based on that ang mga do moragel international organizations so hesetira ka adabela kora makita ranking ertirtegi del TIP report mga niya sanctions al wayal all against tergid mang ada mo mga mokla rerel tiagi dial logi wa anti-human trafficking working group pamang malmisala Mr. Kasole lang lera Eli lemlaria sa asaying ra updated amended National Action Plan ra anti-human trafficking ra valur belaw madire kal ngaringi standard operating procedures below the sign ra amended one tiagirel identification ra victims of trafficking my potential victims ling biko sa president as you know am le sign or sel LBS amendments al moral ra human trafficking ra sora ra last year so sera April 20 I think it was in 23 in 2023 ang malisayan masaya malklo al improvement while bol tengarikita mo mongil mangmlegire dal chensa aigel mle SOP rigid National Action Plan lultoy raigel es amendments and mle signed into law last year sel RPPL 11-28 mangtegi the declaration by the Mr. President el angalwa sa February yato mo malamol may gigi the activities sa maurior will bring awareness and mortial to human trafficking alwa say tia modern day slavery tia nga makita lomrul tia katsabe edal tolerate ng violation of human rights and it's a crime mangagigi diagel awareness del momrul ra month ra February tiyak mamsal Attorney General ang kaya ko kong ngara legal prosecution al raigel guys sa langar sa anti-human trafficking unit del ngara Division of Transnational Crime or Bureau of Public Safety. Bakti mga sulit tirgel other sige del anti-human trafficking working group ang losay na igigil National Action Plan ma Celeste SOP mga niya nga ka chair sige del working group Minister Ngiraybalast Matula ko chair Minister State, Minister Aitaro, a member of group, Minister Urbalao, Minister of Health and Human Services, Acting Director Lieutenant John Gabriel, Attorney General Ernestine Ringil, Director Customs and Border Protection, Director Tarkong, Director National Security Jennifer Anson. Masegi diabol sa niya President ang musabe dal malmol governmental marula activities all the way through March 31st, 2024. Bolsi edal submit report del Morbelao submit report to Miguel US State Department was Belao prioritize sa gagidel efforts detect, investigate, prosecute and convict human traffickers direct the moral educate and bring awareness and mortirigel other bela especially kita tolos pera atra pangkalates mara atra huiriping kita mo kora waya karkik can make sure in adungil treat their according to the contracts that they signed may gagita ke loriol bodong at mokrel almando mal misale Mr. President mo si Emil signer sa proclamation al sales kire laurio February.
Okay. Maduri buksay.
Yes.
Okay.
I stand behind you.
Dia ka
Oh, chief of minister. Totoo lang minister o armalan.
Kasi malang anak la time hindi melakada hindi kasi de mera lakada sauda igelu tukubet sil tir el chils. Mati ko ate alek congratulate tireng burder tir el chils Earl Emiliano ngangarsel obisra public defender vice president ma teori nobu ngangara ministry of education ngangarsel curriculum and instruction Carmelisa Castillo ngangara food service program ra Ministry of Education ma Iterwir France ngangara MOJ ngara Maritime Security ma Bernice Sidoy ngangara Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries ngara Bureau of Agriculture shout out to her hopefully ngoreng ngangara Doha at time ngarsela horticulture expo kasi minister
since October. Jadi normal rin isa.
malwaise the mga litial press conference ri den dik mal din mutum nga sula aradara amidian holding us accountable. Amaram sulang tmarung dalo mura pesra ge masaka Mr. Moses lo mangyadal kamoblo alme. Ay mo ba yotra ka crate sel dim dibu sam crate ang kwate kal saluna sel oblo alme crate.
Absenta sense crate.
Hindi kita man bringa suliw adios el olmol molong tanga tarbek la adre belaw ma balwa trablu belaw kamran sulang ma 2 weeks from now.
Sulang.